Welcoming Joby Sanchez to the program today here on MMAOddsBreaker. Getting ready to fight Justin, is it Scroggins?
Scoggins.
Scoggins. Okay, here on December 11th, coming up in Las Vegas, Nevada, of all places. Great weekend. Obviously, there's a fight, your fight, December 11th, and then that's Friday night, and then Saturday night, December 12th fight going off. It's an incredible weekend to be in Vegas. Does that add any hype to you as you get prepared for this, knowing this is such a big fight weekend?
No, I'm just excited to fight in Vegas. I've never fought in Vegas my whole life, my whole fight career. It is pretty cool because I have other teammates fighting that week. I have Michelle Watterson fighting Saturday, Emily Keegan fighting on Thursday, Omari from Dagestan, he's fighting on Thursday as well. So it's gonna be a fun weekend for the Jackson Wink crew. I'm excited for it.
How stressful is it on Jackson Winklejohn coaching staff? Because they have so many fighters fighting on so many different nights. Yes, it's easy. They're all in the same town, but there is a lot of fights going off at different places, different times, and you guys have different needs.
It's not. I don't think it's gonna be too big of a deal. I mean, Michelle has her husband. I have Brandon Gibson. We have a strong coaching staff. Like we have Bart Lujan, wrestling coach, Lenny Lovato, another wrestling coach, Greg Wink, Brandon Gibson, like I said. So we should all be very, very good. It shouldn't be too big an issue.
Who helped you get your game plan together for Justin? Who sits down with you and goes over the tape and helps you break down the game plan?
Greg, Brandon, and Wink. Greg is phenomenal. It's fun to watch Greg really break down a fighter on their weaknesses and also their strengths, and it's real fun. Like we came up with a pretty good game plan, and I'm looking forward to the fight.
What do you see as Justin's top two strengths?
Oh, his range and of course his kicks.
Yeah, he's got some pretty devastating kicks, but it's not too hard to defend against kicks if you know that's what the guy's going to do to you. So, I mean, have you been spending a lot of time defending kicks in practice, or is there something that you've been doing for so long you already kind of know how you're going to deal with it?
I grew up doing Kaji Kimbo karate, so I've been defending kicks for a while, but we also been working on it game plan specific. We have two really good karate point fighters there at Jackson's, who I work with, who I spar with regularly. So it should be good.
Do you know their names? The karate guys, the point fighters.
Ben Acosta. He's a pro. I believe he's 3-1 right now, and we have this young kid. This kid, when he turns pro, he's gonna be a killer. His name's Jesse DeFoya. He's only 19, and this kid, he's gonna be dope. He's gonna be something.
What weight will he be at?
25. He's at 25. Both of them are my weight class, 25s.
You don't have problems. I mean, there's always it's always easier to find big guys to come in and train with. You don't have a problem down there at Jackson's finding partners that are about your size, at least can give you a good go, but not be too heavy.
Not at all. I mean, like I'm very fortunate. I have Little John Dotson there at the gym, and he's my mentor. He's been really good to me for about the 2 years I've been there at the gym, and I'm very grateful for Little John.
Where were you before you made it over to Winklejohn's?
I grew up here in Albuquerque. I've been here 24 years of my whole life. I grew up at a gym called Chavez Dojo. I was there for 15 years. I started when I was 7 years old, and I was there till I was 22.
Was it a good break when you left, or was there any animosity of you having to move over to Jackson?
Of course, after 15 years, there's gonna be a little bit, but absolutely grateful for everything they have done for me. They raised me. It was like you know what I mean. I was there 15 years. They had to take a part in raising me. So
yeah, they really saw you come from honestly a little boy all the way up into a man. If you spend 15 years with somebody, they see you grow a lot. Do you call back to those coaches over there and talk to the coaches anymore and just like check in every now and again?
Fortunately, I haven't talked to them in 2 years.
Okay. Yeah, this is the problem I feel with traditional martial arts is that it's you're with me for 14 years, 15 years, and you move on to somebody else that we're cutting all ties. It's not really the way it is. It's like I'm just moving from this dojo to another dojo because there's better training partners or better situation for me as a competitor. I'm not mad at you. I'm just leaving because I need to be better as a competitor. And it's unfortunate. A lot of old school instructors are like, no, you're violating our trust, you're violating our code, and you're leaving us. kind of a breakdown. I feel bad because especially for you to be in a place that's your family, like they raised you, and now obviously you don't talk anymore. It's kind of it hurts my heart. I don't know how much it hurts yours, but it hurts me.
It hurt, and it still does. I mean, like Albuquerque is a small city. Everybody knows everybody, and yeah, so it's been pretty rough, but it's also been a blessing.
Yeah, of course, obviously, because look how good you've been since you've been over at Winklejohn Jackson's. Like you've only got the one loss to Wilson Reese. You've been doing tremendously well. Matsuda, you were on my map beforehand. To be honest with you, you're not someone I watch every single time that you fight. I'm going about it, but every time you're on a card, I'm kind of in there paying attention to it. Your fight with Matsuda though really puts you on my radar. Like you getting that split decision win over him was tremendous because a couple times in there I felt like you could call it in if you wanted to right now. You could go ahead and just like, okay, I've had enough, and kind of sit yourself down and find a way out of the fight if you chose to. But you didn't. You went the opposite way. You went, nope, I'm going to step in, and I'm going to throw a little bit harder, move a little bit more, and just see what happens. And those kind of won the little battles within the rounds for you, and then ultimately winning you the fight. Did you feel the same way going back and looking at tape? You're like, oh, right there, I could have stopped, but I didn't. Like, do you see those kind of times too?
There is no stop for me. That's the thing. I haven't looked back and looked where I could have really quit. I knew going into that fight it was going to be a hard fight. I mean, like you see, that guy had never been. He had quite a bit of losses, but he had never been finished. And there was time in the first round I dropped him with the overhand right that most guy. It looks like I shot Matsuda. It really looked like I shot him, and nah, he was fine. Third round I dropped him again, and he I knew it was gonna be a hard fight like that. So I went in there mentally prepared for it to be a war, and unfortunately slash fortunately, that's what I got. I took more punches than I wanted to.
Are you working on your head, on your defense, and your head motion a little bit more now because there were so many punches taken?
That fight.
Yeah.
Since that fight, I have my defense a lot more.
If I had anything to say negative about that fight, is the fact that your defense really wasn't up to par with the way that your striking is. Like you punch very well, but your defense isn't caught up with it. And obviously, it's because you hit so many people so hard, they don't ever want to come back, and they don't come back from that. Matsuda is a guy that gets hit and hits back. So obviously we saw the flaw in your defense. So I'm glad to hear that you're actually working on it. And that to me was like the only thing that you really had to worry about, from a overall fighting standpoint.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I put out Benuelos right before I made it into the UFC. I fought Antonio Benuelos Itachi, and I was able to knock him out. And then I have a lot of confidence in my power. I mean, I really do believe I hit people and they go down, they stay down, and Matsuda proved differently.
Yeah, he really did. But he's the rarity. It won't always happen that way. A lot of guys that get hit with that right hand would have stayed down for sure. That was a heavy, hard hit. So, well, Joey, thanks so much for coming on here. I really appreciate it. Good luck in your fight against Justin. I think it's going to be a great fight. Another great fight for you. It won't be so much of a war, but another fight that you can show your technical ability, your technical skill that the fans are really starting to enjoy about you. So, good luck and have fun. You got it, brother. We'll talk again soon.
Take care.